Okay, wonderful. Welcome, Rabbotai. We're learning about the mitzvah Hashem wants us to do to hear the shofar. To understand what we're going to hear, it's very important to know a couple things. Number one, this would work. It would work. Yeah, it would turn on. Yeah. Okay. Number one, there we go. We have to learn about the making of the shofar. We have to learn about picking. I use this to control. Thank you. Picking a shofar, blowing a shofar if we had the time, or slash I'll give you the basics and then you'll pick up the rest. There's a bag of extra shofarot here. Have fun and then put them back when you're done. Bezrat Hashem. And then we'll cover, after we discuss all the halachot of the tekiyot, the shivarim, the teruah, and everything, we will discuss who's obligated and some of the meaning to take home with you when you are listening to the shofar being blown. Ready? First of all, we have to know our sources. The bottom line of the halacha obviously comes from the Shulchan Aruch. And in the Shulchan Aruch, we have 4 halakim. We have Orach Chaim, Yeridea, Even HaEzer, and Kosher Mishpat. The halachot of shofar are found in Orach Chaim. Very good. Orach Chaim. Where specifically? Siman Tafkuf Pehei until Tafkuf Sadi Aleph. That's the basic halachot of shofar. But on top of the halachot of shofar, you have to know the practical stuff, as well as the methods and the techniques. And that comes from people nowadays like Rabbi Avram Wright, who has a fantastic book called Tikah B'Shofar. And in his book, Tikah B'Shofar, he tells you all you need to know to master blowing a shofar. If you don't have time though, you can read his 15-minute version called Easy Shofar. It's very easy and good to read. There is a local Rabbi here, Rabbi Ettlinger, Sion Ettlinger, who lives right down the street on Bennett, on Broadway, on Bennett Avenue or so. In Breuer's, he's one of the Bali Tekiah there. He has 2 books on the topic. They're great books, you should read them. Now, if you really have the time, we would practice. We don't have the time right now, but I will teach you the basics and we'll go from there. What horn do we use for the shofar? Very important. What horn do we use for the shofar? Ram's horn. Well, there are so many other horns. In fact, the Mishnah tells us, Kol ha-shofarot kesherot. All the shofars are kosher except for Chutz Mishel Para, except for a cow's horn. The cow's horn is the only one that you cannot use on Rosh Hashanah. This is a cow's horn. You cannot use this on Rosh Hashanah because this reminds HaKadosh Baruch Hu of Chet HaEgel, Egel HaZahav. Not on Kippur either. And Kategor Naaseh Sanegor. And also because a cow's horn, if you look at it, has multiple layers that make it look like it's not just one shofar, but multiple shofarot, one inside of the other. Take a look, pass it around. Don't worry, it's dead. It's not going to feel anything. It's all good. Now, a shofar ultimately, it comes from the word shifoferet, a straw, a covering. It covers a bone in the animal's skull. It's not part of the animal's skull in the bone sense. It's a keratin cover of the animal's skull. And therefore, we don't use a cow's horn. Instead, we use, like Gabe said, a ram's horn. That's not a ram's horn. I'm going to show you guys a ram's horn. This is a ram's horn. We use this. We blow this ram's horn on Rosh Hashanah. Beautiful. Oh, it doesn't come this way. It actually comes more raw. I don't have any raw ones on me. I'll show you later. But like this, it comes more raw. Then it gets polished, and also it gets heated up and flattened, straightened, so that it's easy to bore a hole to reach the cavity that's over here. They actually come curved like this, and there's just a tip that's the. Mishnah says that you can. Mishnah says that you can manipulate it. You can't add or subtract. You can't add to it. And as long as you don't subtract in a way that ruins the sound, then you can blow it. There are other animals also though. We'll get to it. Come on. Focus. We'll get to it. There are other animals also that you may have seen when you were in elementary school. A goat's horn. You might have gotten this when you were in elementary school, a goat's horn. Right? You probably blew this when you were a little kid. Had a couple of these lying around, thought it was actually a shofar, and tried to blow it on Rosh Hashanah, only to be told by somebody that, hey, this is just a goat's horn. It's not actually a ram's horn. We're going to get there. Let's do one at a time. Okay? Now, a goat's horn is not a ram's horn. It is a different mean. There are other minim also, minim and minim shonim, such as the oryx. The oryx is a kind of antelope that grows in one of those deserts in Africa, and it makes a beautiful sound. A little bit cool straw, right? This is an oryx horn. Take it, have fun, enjoy. This might be what the Torah calls a re'em. This might be what the Torah calls a re'em. V'karnei re'em karnav yinagach bahem yinagach afsei aretz. That this is, you can really be nogeah. You could really impale somebody with these horns. There are other fun animals also, like the ya'el. Impale means to pierce, like a spear. The ya'el is an ibex. These things climb on mountains. They climb up cliffs. They're an endangered species. I cannot import one legally. One day I will, but in the meantime, I don't have one of those. We'll get there. This is an ibex horn. And everyone thinks, focus. This is not a ram's horn. This is a kudu horn. The kudu, my helper. We gotta stay focused. We don't want to distract them. We'll get up to that one, and you can blow it. Okay? This is a kudu horn. You can blow it. Sure, blow it. Let's go. It's also very easy. The kudu horn is extremely easy to blow. It has a gigantic hole. It's very easy to blow. Kudu horn is fantastic, and these were very popular in Taiman. People think these are the Taimani shofar. Someone walked over to me in Great Neck last week and said, "Look, I have a ram's horn. Can you check if it has a hole in it?" I'm like, "Dude, it's not a ram's horn. It's a kudu horn. This is an antelope. It goes in the Sahara Desert." Now
all of them except for a cow are all the same.
basically, they're all the same thing.
Now we're doing this one.
Oh, yavash, Daddy. Yavash, one at a time. We're not there yet. Next one is actually a natural ram's horn. Rabbi Rofa has one of these that I bought for him. We'll get there. One thing at a time. All right, one thing at a time. We don't have this one. It's a natural ram's horn. This is how it grows on the ram's head. And in order to dig this hole, you need a special drill, or you miss, and you keep trying. And then eventually you get there. What we do is we actually straighten it out in order to make it easier. The Taimanis, where we go here? Stopped working? Oh well, whatever. The Taimanim actually went with the kudu horn because in Taiman they were all malnourished. They had no food. The rams also had no food, so the rams' horns didn't grow well enough to become shofarot. So they ended up using these horns. And then we'll discuss more Be'ezat Hashem, but they believe that having a curve is very important. Here we go. There are all sorts of other horns out there.
I know what that.
Why are we going so slowly? Okay, there are all sorts of other horns out there, like a sable. You want to blow? Blow. Let's go. Very good. This is the sable antelope. It's gorgeous. It looks like an ibex. The Arab, what's his name? I forgot. Abdullah Sadid from Florida, who sold it to me last week. From Holy Land Shofar. Obviously not a Jew, right? He didn't do such a great job digging the hole. Okay, fine, but it's a great horn. He's better than me at this one. Either way, this is another antelope. There's so many different animals out there. As you can see, there's also the blessbok. The blessbok. This one. The blessbok is another one. Can you blow that one? Exactly. Close. All right. Okay. Okay. Blessbok is a great horn. It's very cute. It's very small. It's hard to. It's not the greatest thing. And then we also have a water buck. There's so many different animals out there. All these different antelopes that grow in the Sahara Desert and other places. And they're wonderful creatures that Hashem created, right? Yeah. Huh? I'll show you afterwards. We're getting there. Okay. This is the blessbok. This is the water buck. We have all these other great shofarot that we have. They're wonderful. They're great. Hashem created them. The roan antelope. We have so many different antelopes. Rabotai, you can have so many different minim. The eland. I forgot to the kudu is nice. The kudu is nice, but this is lighter and sounds even better. This is an eland, another antelope. It grows like this, right? Not straightened at all. Beautiful, looks like a torch. It's awesome. But ultimately, Rabotai, the Mishnah tells us, Rabotai, that on Rosh Hashanah, there is no hole, and that's a cow's horn. There is a Rosh Hashanah, they had to blow, according to the Mishnah, a Ya'el, an ibex horn, not a ram's horn, according to the Tana of the Mishnah. The Gemara disagrees, though. Amar Bilevi, mitzvah shel Rosh Hashanah, v'shel Yom HaKippurim, v'shel b'kifufim. It has to be bent, i.e., a ram's horn. That's why the mitzvah is to use a ram's horn. So much so that the Rambam believes that not only the chatechila, but even b'di'avad, if you do not have a ram's horn, you cannot blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah with anything else. The problem was that in Taiman they didn't have anything else. So they ended up being lenient against, ironically, the Rambam of all people. When they came to Eretz Yisrael in the past half a century, they slowly had to realize that they have to let go of the old country. And we have 1 million ram's horns thanks to the Arabs in Morocco who kill them for their aid every single year, that they celebrate their own Akedat Yitzchak, Akedat Ishmael, whatever, and that's why we have lots of ram's horns. So there's no excuse. But the thing is that on Taimani will say, the Mishnah said Bikfufim, and this was straightened. It's not kafuf anymore. So therefore Taimanis actually prefer to have a natural, unflattened, unstraightened shofar, as opposed to this one where it's a straight channel. Rabbi Rufa has, yeah. Oh, so he was like Machloket Tanaim, exactly. Very good. Very good. These are all the different types of shofarot, but Rabotai, the main idea is that this shofar reminds the Ribono Shel Olam of Akedat Yitzchak. All of those shofarot remind the Ribono Shel Olam of the Sahara Desert. We don't want him to remember the Sahara Desert. We want him to remember Akedat Yitzchak. That is the most important thing. And on top of that, remember, to be bent in front of Hashem on Rosh Hashanah, the Gemara tells us, is also very important to be humble in front of Hashem. Now, all the shofarot will be available. We're gonna finish the show and tell part for now. Show and tell is taking a break for right now. We're gonna cover some halachot. Now that I hooked you, I think a little bit too much with the show and tell. Let's learn some of the halachot for a few minutes, and then after Arvit, I will leave these around, and you'll be able to play and have fun. And I'll come back and collect them later. Okay? I do. I used to have an IBC class called Experiential Halacha, where we covered everything in one semester: shofar, shechita, safrut, and tefillin, and a few other things. But then we broke it into several different sections. So right, safrut, and then we'll do other things another time. Now, the reason we spoke about there is a minimum shiur for a shofar is to fit in your hand on both sides. In the Beit HaMikdash, they had chatzotzerot made out of silver. This is not made out of silver. It's made of aluminum foil. But
no, it isn't.
But and plastic.
It's really made only out of plastic.
What? They tricked me in the store.
No, you just put on aluminum.
I guess I did. You're right. All right. I'm sorry I tricked all of you. Okay. Anyways, Rabotai, moving forwards. Now there is no shiur in terms of the gigantic length of the shofar, but these mountain rams that live in Canada might not be kosher to be used as a shofar, because although we call them a ram and they might be in the same genus as a ram, halacha might not recognize them as a ram. Thanks for pushing us a little further ahead. Okay, whatever, fine. Now, anyway, how do you choose a shofar? We're going to go through very quickly, and then you can spend the time yourselves. Now, the main idea is it's a shidduch. It has to really match you. You have to date a little bit and go through every shofar in the store until, please don't press anything right now. You have to go through every shofar in the store to find the one that matches your lips and that you can blow effortlessly. Problem is chicken before the egg. If you don't know how to blow the shofar, how are you going to test them all out? So you have to do both. You have to learn how to blow, practice, and then switch shofar a few times until you figure it out. So we'll discuss the details. I need it back. Can I borrow it back? Okay, fine. You can press the down button, okay? Thank you. Perfect. You make sure you don't buy anything from China. Every shofar should come with a hechsher. As you can see, this guy has from this guy in Tel Aviv. Others have from Rav Mahfoud. Over here, a hologram. The reason being that if Mahmad kills the ram and takes the shofar off his head and he breaks it, he might use some silicone to put it back together and paint it in a way that you won't be able to see after he polishes it. Therefore, all the shofar are actually processed in Eretz Yisrael under the hashgacha of mashgichim. Not that there's such a chance that something will happen there, but because if they don't, then things could happen elsewhere. Forward, close, forward. Push the button, please. And it says forward.
They're still buying from Arabs.
You see?
They get a
That's
raw.
what the
Raw
sound
shofar.
of from here.
Yeah, it's forward. It looks like it. Can you push the button, please?
No, there. That's it.
Yeah, push the button, please. So therefore, no buying from Amazon even if it's $20. Even if it says it's kosher, don't buy from Amazon. Next one. Okay. Now, the money is irrelevant. It's more about the length. But otherwise, we're going to skip the different salespeople, and there's a lot of history to the making of shofar and the merchandising of shofar. We're going to skip to just how to blow the shofar very quickly. But it's something to keep in mind. can't go back on this anymore? Okay, fine. Something to keep in mind is sometimes you see these really decorative shofarot that have like gold on them and silver on them. Those are the ones that broke in the factory that has a hechsher, and they don't want to lose their money, so they cover it in all sorts of other things to make it Judaica. Those are pasul for the mitzvah because they changed the kol. We hold that you cannot put anything on the shofar because you don't want to risk changing the sound, and therefore anything that has any sort of covering would be pasul. That's natural to the shofar. It's still the sound of the shofar. Now, how to blow, Rabotai, is a few things. Number one is posture. You'll just get these ideas for now and you'll work with it later. Number one is posture. Where did my shofar go? This one, yeah? Posture, breath, and blow. After you pick your shofar, if it's nice in your hand, I like this one. It's very light, it's easy, and it fits my mouth nicely too. Straight body, relaxed fashion, and then you have to learn how to breathe. You do this very briefly. Breathe with your diaphragm. Instead of breathing like this, breathe like this. So your to say lahavdil, your belly expands. Not really, but your diaphragm is pushing down. Your lungs are expanding, and you get more and more and more air in your lungs, and then you can blow for much, much longer. I can keep going, but you got the idea, right? You have more energy, your body works better, and then you blow. How do you blow the shofar? Very simple. Not... That's it. That's how you blow the shofar. Very simple. If you go... That's a problem. If you're blowing too hard, just relax. That's it. You have to find the shofar that matches your lips, and you have to make sure that you keep your lips closed around the mouth of the shofar. Good. Now, we're skipping a lot of stuff. Anyway. Now, well, in the mitzvah of shofar, you have to stand up. Correct. Now, moving on to Rabotai. The things that we need to work on. Take it easy, don't blow hard, right? Make sure you don't look like this guy. It's not a good idea for the shofar. Now, here we go. How do you blow the shofar? The halachot of blowing the shofar is you have to blow a tekiah, teruah, tekiah. Yom teruah yelachem. You have to hear 3 times. You have to hear a teruah. And each teruah has to be preceded as well as followed by a tekiah. The problem is that we don't know what a teruah sounds like. A teruah might be a long groaning sound, or it might be a short wailing sound, a short crying sound. Therefore, it might be both. That's why we do all 3 of them, and it ends up becoming more. And that is like this. We have it. That was annoying. Okay, skip the tekiah is the long one. 1 second. Can we do this back? Yeah. 1 second. Here we go. Here we go. See that? Good. Tekiah is the long one. Shivarim is the short, 3 lines, and then teruah is 9. And tekiah is 1 straight blast. Teruah and a shivarim and a teruah. You might be more familiar with.
Why is that one worse?
There are different ways to do the same thing. Doesn't matter.
When you say you might be more familiar with, that you're creating sets, you're suggesting that was.
No, came out the wrong way. That's all. Now, a teruah, we're not really sure what the teruah is, and therefore we aim to do more than 1. The Torah tells us to do that. We spoke about this now. We have a suffix, therefore we do all of them. What is with this? Do you have the thing, Daniel Journey? Please stop. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Okay. Anyways, so lesson Shalom Bais. Right, good. Now, what we do is essentially this. We're not sure what the middle should be. The teruah is in the middle. Is it both shivarim and teruah? Is it just the shivarim or is it just the teruah? And it always has a tekiah before and a tekiah afterwards. And therefore we do all 3 of them. And we make sure that we do this 3 times, this 3 times, and this 3 times. Oh, that's cute. But yeah, I need the thing back, okay? Thanks. Perfect. Thank you, mister. Great. Now.
You read the picture.
Yeah. This is called a tashrat. Tekiah, shivarim, teruah, tekiah. A tashrat is a tekiah, shivarim, tekiah. And a tarat is a tekiah, teruah, and tekiah. We always refer to the different lines that we're up to by the acronyms that they had. Now, tekiah. This is the middle sandwich. But this is one teruah. We're not sure what a teruah is. It might be these two. That's one teruah. Correct. So, no problem. Good. Now, what that looks like in shul is that we say the berachot. We have the tikiyot. Correct. We say Shechion on the first day and on the second day for the Sfaradim, and for the Ashkenazim we say both days. We shmoa kol shofar to begin, and then everyone blows 30 kolot straight before Musaf. So 30 kolot is this times 3. 3, 3, 3. That's 30 kolot, because this is 10 altogether times 3. Now, because you have to do each one 3 times, you're not sure. Now, we blow 30, and then during the Musaf, Chazar Rashas, you blow another 30. That's 10 per beracha that we'll talk about. And then different customs of you do 30 in the silent Shemona Esrei, is 30 after the Musaf altogether, plus another 10 more to get us up to 100 or 101. Yeah.
Question. They're always announced in shul. They're very specific. Make sure not to have a half sec. Make sure not to have a half sec.
We're getting there. Yes. So, we're getting there. Good.
Like, don't have unrelated conversation. But aren't...
Yeah.
Okay, if we're getting there, we're getting there.
We're getting there. Good. We're getting there. Good. Now, on Rosh Hashanah, we have a special thing we do. We recite 3 extra berachot in the Musaf. Al Seder HaBerachot, we have Malchiot, Zichron, and Shofarot, 3 extra berachot in the middle. And at each of these, at the end of them, Baruch Atah Hashem, Melech al Kol Haaretz, whatever, we do blow 10 blasts. That's Tashrat, Tashat, Tarat, at each of the berachot. Afterwards, we do another 10, and that adds up to 100 or 101. Because remember, we have 3 teruot, each wrote the tekiah before, 3 possibilities makes it 30, and we blow 3 times as a koach of a minhag, and it gets us up to 90. Minhag Torah, you only have to blow the 30. To fulfill all the sefekot, you only have to blow 30. The first 30 is the most important 30. After that, it's all just the minhag to do it during the Shemona Esrei, do it again after the Shemona Esrei, during the silent Shemona Esrei, do another 10, to get up to 100, whatever, Kabbalistic reasons I'm not about, but something like that. And then the Sfaradim do a Teruah Gedolah at the end to get it to 101. And the Ashkenazim say, no, don't do anything more than a tekiah at the end. So they should do a tekiah Gedolah and have a nice day. There were customs to do a tekiah Gedolah at the end of each 30 to signify the end of the 30. Now, what does this all look like? This is 30. Before Shemona Esrei, when we blow the shofar with the beracha, we do beracha 3, 3, 3. Whereas during the Shemona, and that would look like this, in condensed form, right? Tashrat 3 times, Tashrat 3 times, Tarat 3 times across each time. Altogether, you need 100 blasts, which would look like this. However, there are different customs about how to do it in the Musaf. What we practically do is before Musaf, we go across each of these. But during the Musaf, they actually go down. We do Tashrat, Tashat, Tarat at each of the Berachot, although there was a minhag in the times of the Shulchan Aruch to do like this for the Musaf as well. Now, why is this all important? You're not blowing the shofar this year in Shul. You might be, but everyone else is not blowing the shofar in Shul this year. The answer is very simple. Mitzvot tzrichot kavanah. You have to have kavanah when you're fulfilling the mitzvah. You don't know what's going on. How do you have kavanah? You have to understand what we're doing each step of the way in order to understand. Now, timing is very important. Timing is very important. I didn't finish the slide, forgive me. But there are different. The Gemara tells us that the shi'ur, the length for the sounds, is 3 tirumitin for a tiru'ah. 3 tirumitin. Oh, can you blow a shivarim for us? Okay, close. The Gemara says that a shivarim is 3 tirumitin. What's a tirumit? It's a trumpet, essentially. And the question is the shivarim, all 3 of them together, 3 tirumitin? Or is each of the shevers, each of the 3 pieces, going to be 3 tirumitin, which is 9 altogether for the shivarim? Let's just say a minimum of 3, but we're only working with the minimum right now. Well, because the length of the teruah is what determines the length of the tekiah. So you have to know what's the minimum length in order to know what everything else's minimum length is going to be. So if the teruah has to be 3 tirumitin as opposed to 9, much shorter. So according to Rashi, we don't hold like Rashi. We require altogether is 3 Terumatin. That's extremely short. So for Rashi, a Shivarim sounds sort of like this. That's Rashi's Shivarim. That's it. And Teruah, that's Rashi's Teruah, essentially. Very short. You don't need 9. Where did 9 come from? 9 comes from the other Shita, that you should have 9 Terumatin, 9 blasts. So 9 would sound like this. It's essentially 9. Essentially the same thing. That would be the same as the 9. But if you have a much shorter shiur, then the whole thing is shorter. And why it's a problem? Because if your tekiah is the same length as your shivarim, then, and you blow shivarim too long, and it becomes a tekiah. So you have to be very careful with the different shito. We hold that each of the 3 is going to be 3 terumatin, and it's 9 altogether. So as long as your tekiah is more than that, you're safe. How much is that lemaaseh? Lemaaseh, the shitot differ, but from 1.25 to 3 seconds is the basic shiur. To simplify, the basic shiur for this topic. For how long is the teruah supposed to be? So your tekiah has to follow. So if someone blows a tekiah like this, it doesn't count. If let's say this is your shivarim, so your tekiah has to be more than that, right? Same amount, but more than before. If you hold a 3-second shivarim, Hashem should help you, because your tekiah always has to be 3 seconds long. People don't do that half the time. So depending on your shita, you have to be aware, and that's why if you're blowing or if you're hearing, you have to be cognizant of how long is the guy blowing for, to make sure you fulfill the mitzvah properly. What does that look like? If you have down here on the bottom, tekiah, teruah, tekiah. Let's just say the 2-second shita for now. Take 2 seconds in the middle and 2 seconds on each side. And the same thing here, 2 seconds in the middle and 2 seconds on each side. But for tashrat, the middle is actually 4 seconds. Exactly. So the tekiah has to be longer. So a guy who comes up to do a tashrat, the very first blow that he has to do, and he does pasul. You didn't fulfill the mitzvah. You didn't fulfill the mitzvah. So you have to know that a 4-second tekiah sounds like this. At least. If the guy doesn't do that, then walk out, find another minyan, because you're not fulfilling the mitzvah here. You have to know the halachot of the shofar. Now, breathing techniques are important also, but the halachot of breathing, the halachot of breathing are very important, Rabotai. Because if you breathe in the middle of a shivarim, if you did pasul, you can't breathe in the middle of a sound. It has to be complete. But also, the shivarim teruah, is it 2 or is it 1? It's a machloket, right? In between every sound, you have to breathe in order to differentiate the sounds. But here, shivarim teruah, is it 1 sound or 2 sounds? So some say yes it is, and some say no it's not. And it's a machloket, and therefore in Shulchan Aruch we say you should do both. For the first 30 blasts, for the Sfaradim, we don't breathe. The next 30 blasts, we do breathe. The Ashkenazim breathe the whole way. Different minhagim, whatever your rabbi tells you to do. The Ramah says that you breathe the whole way. Mishnah Berurah disagrees. Ayin Sham. But, right, that's why you would think so. So machloket Rashi and Tosafot. But you should just be aware. If your Baal Tokea messes up, and he doesn't breathe here, he has to go back. You might be standing next to him, pay attention. You might not be standing next to him. You should listen, sometimes you can tell. I'll show you. Look. I didn't breathe in between, for example. Or like this. I just went straight. Hustle, do it again. You have to take a breath in between. It's important to know. B'diavad, it might be kasher. But we're not going to get into machloket. It's a mitzvah right to do it the right way the first time. Now, for our purposes, you should just know there are different shitot in how to blow properly. There are different ways to blow. We spoke about Rashi's short shivarim, but also there's the jackhammer, but then there's also the li li li. No, 1 second. Different ones, different minhagim. Tongue up and down, tongue forwards and backwards, tongue up and down. And the Taimani warble, some Taimani say that you don't have to move the shofar to do it. I haven't learned how to do that yet. You'll forgive me. Now, for the shivarim, some go, or different minhagim about how to do it, but the reason why they might do that is that in case their shever is too long, they break it. That way it's not a tekiah. That way you save yourself from hitting a tekiah. When your shever is too long, you're fine. You could, but sometimes you mess up, and also a shever is broken. So I broke it. Ooh, too. I broke the shever. It sounds like it's supposed to be broken. You're supposed to be crying. Not crying, you know. A tekiah is a happy sound. Shivarim, we're sad. So you want to break it up. It's true also, you're sad, you want to break it up. Now, no talking in shul, Rabotai, especially when you're trying to fulfill a mitzvah. When you're listening to the berachot and you're fulfilling the mitzvah, you shouldn't speak in between. The mitzvah goes 100 kolot. So you're not supposed to speak for the entire 100 kolot, but the truth is, after 30, you're done. But as a minhag, we're doing more, so we want the berachah to be chal on the rest of them as well. But the most important thing is the first 30. A person's on his own. He doesn't have to hear another 71 kolot or 70 kolot. So that's why if he walks out after the first 30, fine. You don't have to make anything up. But if he walks out during the first 30, he has to make it up later. Yeah. I need running it short on time.
It's very fast. It's about 5 seconds.
Okay.
How is it that Ashkenazi announced which things are doing?
Very good. We're gonna get to that. Good. Next. Important to know in shul, Rabotai, is to give the Baal Tokea his space, to make sure that he can feel comfortable and not anxious and not get upset, and that way he can focus on what he's doing. Otherwise, he could get really anxious and mess up and blow hard and then blame it on the spit in the shofar when it's really him. He doesn't know how to blow, whatever. Fine. Now, I've heard one rabbi once say that Chazal tell us that the Baal Tokea's tikiyah is going up to Shamayim, but our avonot can stop it. So if you don't do teshuvah, he might make a mistake. So blame it on the crowd and on the Baal Tokea. Helps the Baal Tokea relax. It's not his fault anymore. Okay, but you take it or leave it. Now, it's very important to know, nobody's perfect. Mistakes happen. You have to know when to restart. When do you hit the restart button, and how far do you have to go back? When you have a tashrat and you make a mistake in the middle, do you go back to the tikiyah in the beginning? Or do you repeat what you messed up in the middle? And it depends on what you try to do. If you try to blow the correct sound, but the wrong sound came out, then you just redo that sound. But if you try to blow the wrong sound, then you have to, let's say I made a mistake. I'm in the middle of it. Exactly, yeah. I thought I was supposed to do a teruah and I did a tikiyah instead. So now I have to, and if I intended to do the wrong one, I have to go back to the beginning. Now, that's essential, basically, good. And then this could be explained in various decision tables, which in the book Tekavah Shofar, he has a lot of great ones. You should look over there, and you'll get all of them fine. Now, your question about the makri, the person who's calling out the sounds, is it primarily an Ashkenazi custom, or the Ben Ish Chai actually mentions it? And he says it's a good idea to help you not lose your focus. Because think about it. I'm trying to make sure I get all the timing right, and the breathing right, and all the kavanot of the Arizah and the Rashash and everybody else. And I also have to know what I'm up to. Are you kidding me? It's easier somebody else can tell me what I'm up to. I don't know. But it's a good idea that somebody else can tell me what I'm up to, and also somebody else can make the call of was it too long, was it too short? Did I mess up and not breathe? If it's all on me, it's much harder. A lot more anxiety. And I might make more mistakes also. I might not realize I made a mistake. It's always helpful to have another person there. Also, if you have to go back, someone should announce that we're going back. Or say tikiyah again, whatever it is. Yeah. Oh, enjoy. Good. Say a beracha. Now, it's l'tzorech ha-mitzvah. It's not a hefsek. You're helping the mitzvah be done properly.
There's lots of food over there on the other.
There's even better food here. If you eat it, you'll get a prize. Good? Okay, enjoy. Now, also some say that you can outsource the kavanah as well. Now, in closing, Rabotai, who has to hear the shofar? The men, the ladies, the children. Who has to hear the shofar? Most importantly, Hashem has to hear the shofar. But who has to hear the shofar? Well, these guys. This guy has to hear the shofar? Yes or no? Yes. What about this guy?
Yeah, but our kids really have to do anything?
Chinuch, teaching them. Chinuch, but I'm fulfilling chinuch right now. I don't have to take him to shul and disturb everyone's davening. It's bad enough you get disturbed, right? So at that point, you don't have to do further than that. You have to do chinuch, but chinuch doesn't mean 100 kolot. Chinuch means the basics. Let him learn. Fine. Now, What about these ladies? Do they have to hear the shofar? Well, this one maybe, this one maybe, but this one no. There's no chinuch for a girl who's never gonna have a mitzvah in the first place, right? And then also she's not even Jewish, so what does she need a shofar for, right? Right? She might be Jewish, for all we know. But it's important to know, Rabotai, should women learn how to blow the shofar? They can fulfill mitzvah Aseh Shazman Gerama if they like. If they're Ashkenazi or some Sephardim, they can say a beracha if they like. But should they fulfill the mitzvah? Should they go out of their way to have a women's tekiah, women's shofar blowing? The answer is absolutely not. What do they need it for? They're never going to be stranded on a desert island without men. And if you teach women how to do something, then they're going to want to do it. And they're going to have to make contexts for themselves to do it. Rabbi Leibowitz once had a great line. Rabbi Leibowitz once had a great line, we got there, Gabe, about how women's Torah learning is great, but if it leads to women rabbis, it's not great. But if women have all this Torah and all this halacha and everything, then guess what they're going to want to do? They're going to want to be rabbis. So you have to use your sechel and have some advice to Gedolim before you make major changes in Jewish people. Now, just to finish off with what we have to be thinking about. We should not be thinking about this on Rosh Hashanah. Good? We should be thinking about this on Rosh Hashanah. We have to make sure that it's when we're doing mitzvah deoraita, mitzvah tzivukot kavana. We have to wake up like the Rambam says, Uru yisheni mishenachem. The Torah told us to blow the shofar. That's why we blow the shofar, because it says mitzvah to blow the shofar. But on top of that, remez yeshbo. Very good. It's a remez yeshbo. There's a remez in the Torah that you should get up and snap out of your fatigue, snap out of your trance of doing the avirot, and come up and fix yourself in order to be zocheh to a proper din. The shofar is the alarm clock to wake up. And on top of that, our Sadia Gaon had 10 things to keep in mind when you hear the shofar. The trumpets of Har Sinai. To do teshuvah, because it's now or never. We're renewing our commitment to the Torah. The din v'chashron and shamayim, akidat yitzchak, the kibbutz galuyot, and the listening to the Nevi'im, Techiyat HaMeitim, do Teshuvah, and the Beit HaMikdash had its own shofarot. These are the things you have to keep in mind. You can find them in the Sidurim and the Machzorim. Bottom line is, Rabotai, if you're responsible to blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, the world is in your hands. This is in your hand. The world is in your hands. It's a gigantic responsibility. And you, the one who's listening, have to take into account, what do I do when I hear the shofar, Gabe? What do I do when I hear the shofar? I have to think about these things. I have to keep these things in mind when I hear the shofar in order to fulfill the mitzvah properly. Okay, fine. Finish with this, Rabotai. Now, questions? Great. Okay. Whoever wants to practice blowing shofar, there are plenty of shofarot here. So a few couple of small things. I have to pray Arvit and go, but this bag will stay. What you can do is go to the morgue basement or here, whatever is the most appropriate place, today, tomorrow, whenever, and listen carefully. First of all, get my phone number if you don't have it, and we can always talk about these things. But second of all, very simple. That's it. Very simple. And then the rest is practice. What you have to do, if you want, what you can do, if you're a germy like me, you take hydrogen peroxide and you take a paper towel and you rub it on top. Chazak baruch, everybody. Okay, good. Thank you for coming, everybody. Hope it wasn't too fast or too interactive.
Is this able to be shared or absolutely not?
Yeah, why not? It's online. It's online already. Yeah. Thank you, Drew, for coming. I gave this in SBM. I'm giving it somewhere else tomorrow night. Yeah.
Don't women, for the same reason,
Shalom.
You said at the start, even if we're not blowing, we need to know so that we listen to the mitzvah. We're doing mitzvah. So what if they need to know for the same reason that we know?
They should know. They don't have to do. They have to listen.
Wait, Rabbi, I have a question. Why is it that the L'Shem Yichud is only recited by the guy blowing the shofar?
Same way the Beracha is only recited by him, but you could also say it.
No, the Siddur says it's only recited by the dude blowing the shofar.
You might have some lines about the Beracha, but otherwise there's no reason why you can't say it too.
Wasn't this the only time Rav Avadia said the Shem Yichud? Like he didn't say all the other ones except for this one?